England travelled to Paris with a 13th Grand Slam and their first since 2003, their target. Having been beaten in France 2 years ago, Eddie Jones' men couldn't underestimate the French, who made 2 changes for this game, with Laurent Goujon and Bernard Leroux in for Camara and Doré. England also made 2 changes, with Danny Kerr and Mako Vunipola coming into the starting 15 for Youngs and Marler. It was the home team who took an early lead when referee Nigel Owens awarded them a penalty from close range, and Maxime Machineau found the target to make it 3-0 to Guy Nobes' side. But it didn't take long for the men in white to level matters. Just a couple of minutes later, France were penalised when Gaël Ficou was high on Anthony Watson. Owen Farrell firing it over off the upright from 35 metres out to make it 3-3 after 5 minutes. In the 12th minute, having weathered some French pressure, England struck a major blow. Jonathan Joseph took it into contact before Danny Kerr shrewdly spotted the gap and ran clear of the French rearguard to score with a flourish. The French might wonder where the defence was, but the Harlequin scrum half won't worry about that. Farrell converted, and England were 10 points to 3 ahead. The home side narrowed the gap to 4 points when Machineau landed another penalty with 15 minutes on the clock to keep his side well in it, and the French supporters hopeful. At the midway point in the first half, England got over for a second try. Once again, Kerr was causing problems for the French defence with his sniping runs. And when the ball came out to tight head Dan Cole, he used his considerable weight to force his way through the attempted tackles of Guirado and Spedding. The TMO was called upon to see if Mako Vunipola had blocked the tackler, but it was quickly judged that the try was good and England were looking good. When Farrell converted, it was 17-6 for Eddie Jones' men. The boot of Machineau was keeping France in the game, and on 29 minutes he put his 3rd successful effort over to bring it back to an 8-point margin, 17-9. France were causing England a few problems, and when the visitors were penalised for not releasing in the tackles shortly before the break, they narrowed the gap once more. Machineau kicking well to leave just 5 points between the sides at half-time. Early in the second half, things were getting a little tense, and when England gave away another penalty in front of the posts for offside, Machineau chipped it over to bring it back to 15 points to 7. Nervous moments for the English, the French enjoying the prospect of becoming party poopers. Almost immediately, it was another penalty at the other end for French hands in the ruck. Fortunately for the English, Farrell has been ultra reliable with the boot, and when he landed this penalty from about 35 metres out, it settled the champions' nerves somewhat. It was back to a 2-point game soon after that when Machineau again put another penalty over to make it 18 points to 20. And then came another important moment. Billy Vunipola crashed over halfway to instigate an English attack. Ben Youngs carried it on and chipped ahead. Anthony Watson picked it up and managed to hold off Fofana's tackle to get it down for a 3rd English try. The winger had scored against France at Twickenham last season, and this one was another big score. Farrell missed the conversion from wide, but the lead was back to 7 points. Maxime Machineau continued to be France's source of points, and on 59 minutes he notched his 7th successful kick of the evening to bring it back to 21-25. England lost captain Dylan Hartley when he suffered an injury in making a tackle on Uni Atonio. But with 8 minutes remaining, another Owen Farrell penalty stretched the lead out to 7 points, leaving France requiring a converted try to deny the English a Grand Slam. And as the clock moved ever closer to 80 minutes, England sealed the slam when French replacement prop Xavier Chiocci was yellow carded for pulling down the maul. And when Farrell put the penalty over, the lead was out to 10 points with only a couple of minutes remaining. Farrell's reaction spoke volumes. 31-21 is how it finished. A wonderful RBS Six Nations for England with Eddie Jones at the helm. The Grand Slam achieved for the first time since 2003. England only the third side to achieve the Slam, having played 3 away matches along the way. They look forward to a summer tour to Australia. France finish in the bottom half for the 5th year in a row. That will be a concern for Guy Noves and his coaching team. Thankfully, Dylan Hartley had recovered in time for the trophy presentation, and at the end of a hard campaign for his men, he can feel very proud as England lifted the RBS Six Nations trophy. Champions, and they did it in style.